everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video, as you can probably tell, the pipes is on and we're going at Slurry, and it is going to be our first outing with the nurse tank. I know we've had it a while, we haven't got to use it, and that was partially because weather was dry and there was no real use for it, but we are going to be using it now to show the benefits of the nurse tank. So we are spreading our own slurry today on silage ground. We have some of it done, we got done with tankers there to make space in tanks for the piggery drawn to us, and it was just, we should have had it done a week ago at least, but we're getting other men's slurry done as when the weather broke, and hopping and trotting, and then trying to organise just getting the tractors and lorry to draw to us. So I'm just heading down, front reelers off because we won't need it. Bro's coming down behind me with the 99 to move the nurse tank into the position that they want. That means I can't lay a pipe, because if they want this gate or that gate, yeah, that's got to wait. So I'll chat to the lads when they get here to see which gate is best used for them. The two tankers have overhead booms. It's going to be the first outing. It's going to be interesting. The reason we are using it is because usually what we do is they draw to the yard and then we draw it out with tankers. And they're passing by some of the fields on their way to the yard. So why not pull up with the nurse tank, they unload into it, and then we just spread it with the pipes. We could spread with the pipes from the yard or from the other yard when we're doing the silage ground, but then you have lots of piping down, only for spreading, you know, 38 acres, and there's 12 acres up there, and there's another 20 acres, you know. Whereas we can just bring the nurse tank around with us to each individual field or block of fields that are together. They just throw it into it and we peg it out. And I think it should save us some time. And we'll use the nurse tank. So we have everything done. It took very little to leave it ready. The center section on the tank was held on with bolts on the top lid. So we just cut the bolts, lifted it off. Happy days. It is now enough strip to get into. We'll show you when we get there, but hopefully now should be able to work it. And our fill level, I don't know whether it's going to work or not. Hopefully it will come free itself. It took grease, but we won't really know till we get there. We're going back with Bro now, and I'm just after talking to the camera for the last 5 minutes. We had not working, showing the nurse tank and the bits we done with it.
Good job.
Yes. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how peeved am I? What do you think?
Probably a 9.
It's a solid 8 anyways. That's the nurse tank. We'll go through that. This is the field. Grass is coming on nicely. Field is fully greened. Get a bit of pig slurry on it now, putting out about 2,500 gallons to the acre, and we get some second cut. So not much more we can do, so we want to wait and see where they want us. We have 2 gates, we have one further up and we have one here. I think the issue with this gate here, this would be the most practical gate for us, because most of the field is this end of the field. Does that make sense? But that big tree there could be in the way for booming. So they'll be coming up that way, and then they'll have to boom it out to put it in. See the 2 black marks on the nurse tank? I know, very crude, but that is where we took off the sheet above, so they'll be able to pop it straight into that, so they don't have to try and blow it in the nose cones. So we have new fittings on, sluices are working, so we just have to stick the suction pipe on that. Father Phil is going to get clips because he got the wrong size clips. So everything is looking pretty good. Just have Jack Rob pull the pins out, let that down. So we have this pipe here. The connection this is on goes in, goes up to the top and curls, so that when this, you don't have to worry about all the slurry coming back over. So that is for the connection for a lorry or a tanker without the overhead boom. That's kind of the point. And then we also have this fitting here, which that goes straight into the back of it. There is no pipes or nothing, so that's just blanked off for the time being. That's really, we'll show you on top. There's a little bit of work to do inside the tank. There's our valve and lig. Well, that took grease, but we cannot get it to move. So we're hoping it might decide to start moving of its own accord. So we are up here now. You can see where we took off that section there. There is that cross beam. We're hand in hand taking it out, but we didn't. We may have to. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. So this is the tank. Now what's in it is just water. The side looks rusty, but I went around knocking it all and it seems pretty solid. There's quite thick steel in it. Now the only things we do at some point we'll have to do is that bottom crossbeam there and the bottom crossbeam further up are both broke, whereas the top 3 crossbeams are fine. I stood on them, they're solid, and that's really it. The rest of it is pretty sound. It does look very rusty in here. I'd say give it a wash and a bit of a clean. It won't look as bad, but it seems to be fine. I was through it, checking it all before we go at this job, because we don't want any messes. Father Phil thinks if they come into the field, which the field is dry, there wouldn't be an issue. He's afraid that coming into the field will tear the tar, so he doesn't want them coming into the field. He wants them to unload off the road. Shouldn't be an issue, but we'll just see where they want to do it. Just have to wait now. We're set up there in the gate. Father Phil seems to think that it won't hold the 2 tankers, so that's 8,000 gallons is not the 12,000 gallons that he said was in it. We get this pipe down, we get spreading. Now we have the pipe down, ready to rock and roll. Have my Trimble set up now. I'd put an AB line along this hedge, because always we'd have spread from the other hedge from the other side, because we'd always pump across the canal from the yard. And in doing it this way versus pumping it from the yard across and whatnot, we've saved ourselves 600 meters less piping. And I reckon there's enough, and I have enough down to do the whole field without putting down any more, I think. Also, Eric has a couple of loads spread at the other end of the field. And we are spreading away. So, to put out at 2,500 gallons, we need to be going at around 4 kilometers an hour. Doing 4.4 there, so slow her down a bit. Change my gears. Just make sure she has enough throttle behind her that she's not going to stall out when as the pull of the pipe comes on it. So not too bad at that now. 4 kilometers to 4.1. So yeah, that's not too bad. So we're putting on a new AB line, as I said, along this hedge. So the lorry is just unloading there at the minute. So once he goes, I'll chat with Father Phil and see how the tank. I had to have held the two tractor tankers, because we hadn't any spreading done, and now the lorry has arrived, or not enough done to make space. So it's going to be interesting to see now how this works out. It is trying to just do it in my head. How many kilometers is it from here to the piggery? Oh, it's only an 8 kilometer drive. So it's going to be interesting to see how, with the 3 yokes drawn, the 2 couldn't keep us supplied when we done it the last time. So hopefully now with 3, that should be able to keep us going. I'll be interested to see how it works with the nurse tank. Will we be able to have them constantly unloading and never have to go, hang on a second, let us get a couple of thousand out before you finish off emptying your load? It's going to be interesting. Anyways, main thing is we're spreading. We'll put our slurry for our second cut, and in about 6 weeks time we should be cutting this again. It's going to take a few hours. Alright. It's going to be a good day of spreading now. It's going to be a good day of spreading to get it all done. We should be able to get it done. I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't be. And Piggery reckons to have about 140,000 gallons to draw. We're going at 2.5, so that means we probably will end up being short if the Piggery is right with how much is in the tanks. We're hoping there will be more. If there's not, we do have slurry here, cattle slurry, and we have a ring of pig slurry in the store still, which we'll be able to finish off whatever doesn't get done. There's the lorry just heading off, first load emptied. So he just waited to get the 1 rib off the tank, and then he started filling it, and we were able to empty it quick enough that it didn't. When the lorry was emptied, we were out foot from the top, so it can hold the 2 tankers, which is 8,500. One's a 45, one's a 4,000 gallon, 4,500 gallon and a 4,000 gallon, and it's able to hold both of them. So Father Phil, and he said there was a good bit of space still. He says there's at least 10,000 gallons. So, and he just let it drop a bit. By the time the lorry got hooked up, it was dropped. They started unloading. It's fine, worked out grand. We've 8,000 gallons out, so we have the first round of tankers out. So we've about 6,000 gallons. So it'll be interesting to see now. Will we have to knock off the pump, or will the tractor and tanker be back here in time? That's going to be the big one. But it's only going to take us about 10 minutes ish, I think. Well, let's skip forward and find out. And we have run out 13,000 gallons, 13,292 gallons. The surplus would be in the pipe. That's why we don't have the 14.5 that we should have on the screen. And we're out. So now it's going to see how long it takes for the tractors to get here. But I suppose if they spread out, the next time they come round, they'll be more spread out, so that we should, by the next time round, we may be able to keep going. Maybe. Comes an issue, the pair of lads are at home there, and we might get one of them to start drawing to us. They're spreading the bridge field, because it's not accessible for us to do it with the nurse tank the way we're doing it. And we're just out, and while I'm talking, here comes the 4,000 gallon tanker. Happy days. So yeah, we're literally just out and he's here. So I would call that very successful. Very successful. When we get closer, we might be able to get a better look at them with the overhead booms. Well, we're looking at buying, I've seen some second-hand ones for sale, and we're contemplating buying some to put on our own tankers specifically for this job, because it would be quite handy. The benefit of this system is particularly in the springtime or the back end, when your gaps are getting mucky, you have out farms that you can't pipe from a tanker yard or that, and you do it with tankers, and you bring around muck and annoying neighbours and that. But what you do instead is you pull the nurse tank into the field and you just unload off the road into that and you pipe it, and it solves all the mucking on the road, all destroying gaps. It's the benefits of the pipes anywhere you want it. And if you're interested, give us a shout. Even if you want to get someone else to draw slurry to us, but the pipes in the nurse tank can be hired separately. Or if you want tankers to draw, we can do the whole lot. So we get going again, and the next round of loads should keep us going. I'd say after this now, we shouldn't have to stop. And if we do, that is ideal. We also, because when we go to change fields now, there will be a delay between us getting rolled up, getting to the next one, and that we have space in the tank in the yard, the tanks in the out farm, to take that surplus, so that they don't have to wait. They can just go there, unload and keep going. Don't break the cycle. We should be going here any minute, and yeah, happy days. That is very much bang on the money. Liv doing a coffee drop. What? Thanking you. Thank you. Oh. Keep the show on the road. Keep us caffeinated. Keep us going. We're actually pumping a lot quicker now. We're pumping at 32,000 gallons. So that's going to empty out the nurse tank quicker. So that is the flip side. Ooh. Pumping at whatever we pump at is going to dictate how quickly we empty the tank at. It's unloaded. So only about 2,000 more gallons to go on with that tank spread. So there it is. Happy out. So Larry's just unloading there. We are 31,000 gallons out, so I take not quite about 90,000 ish. So we're looking at about a third of it done, I'd say, roughly speaking. So it's proven to be slow enough now. Not to be any different. If we were pumping out of the yard, it'd be the very, very same, because we'd have already used up what's in the store. So we'd have no buffer really to keep at it. But that's what it is. Just don't get caught on it now as we go around. Mother fillers after dropping in chicken filler roll, keep us going so we don't have to stop to eat. And yeah. So what do you get in your chicken filler roll? My go-to is a spicy filler roll, mayonnaise, egg mayonnaise, onion and stuffing. That's my go-to chicken filler roll. If you like mayonnaise and chicken, that is a good bloody roll. Put on the comments, what kind of chicken roll do you eat? What kind of roll? You go to the deli counter, what do you get in your roll? For me, it's either this or it's a sausage and hash brown and ketchup in a roll. It's just kind of wait now for 10-20 minutes to the next. They come in near enough three together. We get half an hour spreading, and then you have to wait 10 or 20 minutes till they come back round again. I'd say then we get how this field is going to be 2-3 o'clock, I'd say. That's what it is. But anyways, I'm doing my roll. Still a nice chunk of the field to do, maybe anywhere from a third to a quarter, just the far end after straightening out my pipe. Just making sure that I didn't have to put down any extra pipe. Quite a large slow up on Slurry coming to us. Not sure what's happening or happened or if anything has happened. We're not overly sure. Bro and Brendan are getting on great. They have the bridge field covered and they're starting to spread the red clover and the 2 paddocks that we put in the pit as well that we were going to do. They're going on well, so they just keep spreading, because there's a ring of pig slurry in the yard, and then there's the shed in the new farm, and there's a shed in the yard. So we do have slurry in the yard, so they're working away at that. It only leaves us, after we've this field done with 12 acres to do, and then we're going to spread grazing ground on the new farm, just to keep going to finish out the evening, but not sure what's happening. And we are back going. Tanker's just unloaded lorries there. We're just doing a couple of runs here on what will be the short ground, because for anyone who pipes slurry, you know what it's like if you having a lot of pipe and you start doing this and the pipe starts going woo 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 woo, you end up with a knot. So I just pull this bit out and straighten it out, and then we'll start going back and down with her AB line, and we'll work our way back to where we finished up there before I pull the pipe this way to stretch it out. About 30,000 more gallons to come to finish this field, so it's another 2 round of loads and it will be finished. So it's going to push us on later than we were hoping, but we should, if we just push on, I think they'll draw to us to about 8 o'clock, so we should get the 12 acre field done, but we tight get any grazing ground done. Main thing is we'll have the silage ground all covered by the end of today, and we'll be ready to push on for second cuts. Spreading away and random in the middle of the field. No idea why. Maybe someone getting hay didn't pick up their tailboard, as I've come back and pick it up, so I do not want to find out more. But we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. Bros arrived with the 99 to move the nurse tank, so hopefully we have enough. I think the lorry is yet to unload, so we should have enough with the lorry, and we'll be good to move then on to the next bit. We're in the last run here. Class and tanker heading on to the yard there to unload, so we keep them moving. You can see there we have met line of slurry from the other end of the field. Not that you can see it, because it is just disappearing as it is. So the blowout of the pipe should finish us. We should get to 84,000 before we run out. So yeah, no bother. We'll have this finished. Roll up. While I'm rolling up, Bro will be moving on the nurse tank with the 99, and then we get the pipe down in the next field and we get spreading. And that's us done in the big field. So we stick the camera on time lapse, it got rolled on and moved out onto the next bit. First field done. Doesn't seem to be any mess. I was expecting to see maybe a little bit just on where they'll be clipping on and off the back of the tanker. No mess on the road at all. We're not on the road, behind the gravel, but not. Nice clean job that. Right. Rose coming on behind me with the nurse tank as he'll pull him again. We'll just pull up where the lorry, we can get the pipe onto the back of the lorry off the road. Works just the handiest, saving the lorry having to turn back into a field or drive into a field. So, on. Set up here now. Bro's gone back upon the tanker to finish off the bit, the red clover and that. There's 2 more load needed for there, so, and they had the store emptied, and then there was 2 loads while we were moving up here into it. So we'll have that pig slurry to mix into the cattle shed at home. That we need tinning out later on. We want to pour curl in the pipe. The reason for pouring the curl in the pipe from the start is so that if I have the misfortune of pulling the pipe, it gives Father Phil a couple of seconds worth of notice to me pulling the pipe to get me to stop. If you just laid it straight away, by the time he'd see it pulling, you could be in bother. Now we're in the new farm now. One of the reasons why we're going with the nurse tank rather than pumping out the tank that is on the farm is one, nurse tank we don't have to cross the road with, whereas we do if we were to pump out the tank. Another thing as well, we'd have to lay the pipe across a meadow field that's to be cut, and we'd only be flattening grass doing so. And the other reason is it shortens the amount of piping we need to get out here done, because I'd have to put down 400 meters of piping. Yeah, it is 400 meters of piping just to get me to this field and to get me on towards the rest of the grazing ground we want to do. So all in all, it just saves piping. So yeah, the reason this field isn't as green as the last pit, you may see, cattle dung, because for the last week or that, the cattle have been out, both batch of bulls this year have been out grazing this farm, or grazing this field, just grazing the backsward. So we left a healthy backsward along the big trees along that hedge line there, because there was a lot of branches blown down from the storm, and it was just in case we didn't get everything gathered. And the one thing I remember seeing when I mowed it, I didn't mow this paddock here because I was afraid we'd get tight on grass, but we're not tight on grass. There's too much grass in there to let the cattle in it. So my plan is to bale the half of that paddock, and have the other half. It's a bit rushy at the bottom end of it, but bale the good end of the field, or the paddock, and leave the rest for the bulls to go to, and it should keep them happy. Have it maybe 10 or 15 bales out of it, and they won't walk it into the ground. So the biggest thing with heavy grass cover like that is the cattle will end up walking the most of it into the ground and booming on it, and you just won't utilise it to the best. This here is the wagtail. So connect our end of our pipe to it, and then it's what swivels as we go around the field, and this here swivels to take knots out of pipes as we pull, and it takes it in and then up to the for those of you who don't know. So by and far the most efficient way of spreading slurry. I can just see them up at the top end there. The dews out there, and on an update on that is after picking up a new chain and sprocket for the digger, so at some point during the summer we'll tackle that. It'll probably be the end of June before we tackle it, because I know exactly what's going to happen. As soon as the weather picks up a bit, there's going to be a mad rush of baling, and it'll be back at slurry, and then it'll quieten down, but that'll bring us to the end of June. A good bit of mulching now I get done. I have a bit of mulching to do for a customer too. We'll wait for some slurry and we'll get spreading again. We've just started off here now. We are pumping at a whopping 36. It's dropping there now. 35. We were at 37 when we started, but I think he pulled her back a wee bit, because I have to be driving at 6 kilometers an hour to put out. So we're dropping an AB line, but we will run into trouble with the hedge. You can see how much I didn't mow all the way out to there, so about 8 meters. So I might come up with the mulcher and just mulch them, knock the docks off, stop them from spreading out too much. But yeah, the cattle have it well grazed. I was thinking maybe putting them back out here, but there's no point. They have it finished, so they've moved on, so they'll be alright. They'll be alright. I know you can't really see it there, but at the current setup, I'm at pressure. Onward, my mighty steed. As I was trying to say and show, but you probably can't see it because I'm too far away. Yeah, I have it there, 32. The current setup, we're able to unload the lorry and the tractor and tanker at the same time. So I would call that quite a successful setup. So we're just kind of in round the corner off the road, so the tanker, the lorry can back up to the back of the nurse tank, kind of off the road, and then the tractor and tanker is able to just pull up on the edge of the road, and boom in and drop it into the tank, all in the one go and not block the road. So yeah, well, I don't think they're blocking the road anyways. You'd have moved it if it was. So yeah, we're spreading again, so hopefully this round of loads should finish. So that's how much I got done with the first round of loads, and that's what's left to be done. You can just see the field out there we were seeded starting to green. Someone says it's bearded, so we'll show you that another day. Don't know, it's 7:30 there now. Don't know how many more loads they'll bring. Maybe one more round, and I'd imagine that'll be it for today. The next tanker's after pulling up there as well, so just don't have the space to get all three unloaded, but not too far off enough. More crew is on. I'm going to run into the hedge here. We're just finished in the silage field. We moved into the next field, and as you may tell, this is the field the cattle were on before, the field they're on now. And yes, there's a lot of thistles out here, buttercups, nettles, and a few bits of rushes. So this is on Father Phil's spray list. Now that it's been grazed, he's trying to put together the full of the big sprayer to spray. So I'm at about 30 acres from the spray of thistles, nettles, rushes. Put this bit of slurry on it, it'll give it a boost, and if we can get sprayed within the next week or so, we should be flying out. We should be laughing. Anyways, we're going to go for Tino in between loads and come back one more round of loads. I don't think there's much left in the tanks there. The lads that are drawn to us, they're going back at silage themselves tomorrow. So it's kind of whatever's done now, and they might send back the lorry then another day just to finish drawing down what's left. We'll put into the store and we'll use it for tinning out our 2 cattle tanks of slurry, the one that's in the yard and the one that's on this farm here. We'll use that pig slurry to tin them out and get them pumped out or drew out or whatever we plan on doing. Anyways, we'll take off the pipe, we'll go for spuds. Grass is coming back well. Cattle are off this maybe a weekish, and it's greened up quite well now. Just excuse the docks and that, just take it that they have been sprayed, because they will be sprayed, or the thistles. But like when you look down at the grass, it's coming. We're just getting to that time of the year where growth is increasing quite nicely. The only thing is it's starting to get a little bit cold, so whether that will start to affect grass growth, it'll be interesting to see. Another thing that we've seen with the crop of barley that's here is it's gone a bit yellowish on the leaf, and even with the pumpkins now have started to yellow a wee bit. Father Phil thinks it could be a bit of a grass frost in the evening, or it's just getting very cold at night, so that could affect things, particularly the pumpkins now. It's not what we really want to see with the pumpkins. Just these 3 load, if 14,000 gallons, 14,500 gallons to go out, and that's it. So if we try and get it all on this field, that'll do me then. It won't be too bad. So, and whatever's left over then they'll draw down to the yard, and we use that to tin out the tanks of cattle slurry after second cut to cover all the ground for third cut. It's one of the things, the reason we can take in so much pig slurry is because of our tillage ground. Our organic nitrogen per hectare is very low. I actually think like we could be around 120, 110 when you include the tillage land. Now, when you not include the tillage ground, we get very close to that 170 mark. But for those of you who don't know, that's organic nitrogen per hectare, so that's how much nitrogen the cattle produce. So it's based on how many cattle you have of different age groups, and then they do their maths and then they tell you how much it is, and you can only have so much in a calendar year. That's how it works. And that limits then how much slurry you can take in, because you need to have room to take in slurry. We're not as bad as what's going on in the north at the minute, from what I've seen on Red House Holsteins, the Killings and all, and Farm Tree and all that. We're not too bad off down here. So they are slowly but surely bringing in more stuff and more stuff and more stuff, but so far it's manageable enough for us anyways. So it's rough out here. Anyways, I'll put away the camera and watch what I'm doing. And that is us done. And no, I haven't run into the hedge. You always straighten out the pipe for rolling, so it's in a dead straight line behind me now, so I can split him. That is all the silage ground covered. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Any questions and like that, let me know what you have in your chicken fillet roll, and we'll try and get back to you soon. Hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. That's it. Oh no, not Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. Not anymore. Wednesdays and Sundays. It's going to take a good bit of getting used to that. Anyways, Wednesdays and Sundays. That's it for me. Good luck.